Well, hello. We've got a very noisy air compressor going on back there. And today we've got another video, another vlog right here from the darkness as we try our best to get the darkness ready for Transworld. But we also have an event coming up on February the 17th called My Bloody Valentine. And so this vlog, what we're trying to do with these vlogs is just try to give you information. And this is something we haven't really done before. Don't throw it away. Nick is here with me at 2 in the morning.
Bang needs to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Bang Energy.
But I have a habit of picking things up and just throwing them in the trash. But anyway, what I was saying before Nick rudely interrupted me because I tried to throw away his trash was, here's another habit I have. Looking in the trash and getting upset when I realize the trash hasn't been thrown away. So, anyway, we're trying to document what we do every single day to get ready to open for Transworld. Now, I want to remind everybody that we haven't actually opened since 2019. I'm starting to act like Joe Biden here. It was 2019 was the last time that we opened with actors. So on Thursday night, we're doing a behind the scenes tour. Mark my words, that's the best tour. That's the one you want to go to. Trust me when I tell you that. And here's a little quick update. That tour is over 50% sold out. The LEMP tour, which will be on Friday with actors, that is actually over 50% sold out as well. And that's on Friday night. And then Saturday will be The Darkness with live actors, and that's going to be on Saturday. And all these events are 7 to 9 p.m. and they're all limited because we're only opening for 2 hours. Now, today we got this in. What is this, Nick?
It's 3 pallets from Poison Props. There's 8 animations.
Okay, we have 8 animations in these 3 boxes, and what we're going to do on this video is we're just merely going to unbox them. Okay? I bought these animations without any idea whatsoever of where we would put them, where they would go. I just bought them. Every year, on top of doing massive overhauls of scenes, sections of the darkness, we always buy some new animations to scatter in. We don't have the luxury for the Darkness Haunt Tour of going to Transworld and seeing what new animations might be there. So we're either getting them a year behind. In some cases, vendors will reach out to us and show us or tell us about animations they're building. And by the way, in a lot of cases, I have animations custom made, or I tell a company, hey, could you make XYZ? They say, sure. Now here's something that I just want to bring up here. There's an animation right there, not being used. There's another one, there's another one, and there's another one. And they're all brand new. Not a single one has ever been used. I take that back, that one's probably not brand new right there. But that one is, this one is, and that one over there is. And by the way, this is a Gorgalore puppet. It's just sitting there for now. This is for sale. I would probably sell the mummy animation, and I'm also going to have other animations for sale. And by the way, look over here. This is a Krampus animation from Unit 70, and this is one incredible animation, and it is not currently for sale, but I have a whole container full of animations and props that I will sell. So if you drop me an email, if you know my email, I can give you a list, and we are going to sell quite a few animatronics. this one here, we're gonna try to figure out how to get up into our escape room. Now look at this. Here's a third animation, a fourth one, and a fifth one. Right there. None of these are being used, and they're all brand new. That mummy head right there is an animation. Let's show you some other animations that aren't being used. That used to be one of our escape rooms. That's from Life Formations. That's an animation. That is the Slayer from Scare Factory. That is an animation that is not being used. We have a couple of other animations from Scare Factory that we'd be willing to sell that are brand new, that have never been used. That guy in the wheelchair over there, that's from Life Formations, and I will sell that. That is a talking animation, and he'll be for sale. The lizard right next to him is from one of the dark rides that we built. He has to be rebuilt. He actually works perfectly. That is an animation right there that we got to get down, and that's from VP Productions. The owner of that company died, and that rotation thing is part of it. It sits on top of it, and it starts off as a skeleton, and then it rotates with fog, and then when the fog dissipates, you see Dracula. That is an animation right there, an alligator animation. And then if you've ever heard of the company Scare, or Jekyll and Hyde, there's another animation from Jekyll and Hyde. That is the band that played. That is an animation right there. It's a head. And then here's one of my favorite animations, but I've never used it. It's in that chair. The plan was to use it in an escape room, and it just never has come up. So there's a good, I don't even know, 12, 15, now with this stuff, there could be about 20 animations in here that are not being used. And that's just downright criminal. So some of this stuff is going to be for sale. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to unbox these animations from Fright Props, technically, but Poison Props.
Is this the one they sent to your house?
Yeah, they mailed all of this to my house. Can you believe this?
I went through and I marked out your personal address, so none of the viewers try to send a bomb to your house or anything.
Okay, like don't unibomb Larry. All right, let's open this up and see what we got in here. Now, the next task is going to be to try to figure out where we can wire these up. Now, Nick, you do a lot of hooking up animations around here.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to get one of these like hooked up, bolted down, and fired up and ready to go?
The nice thing about Poison Props is they're pretty much plug and play. So they'll send you everything you need. All the airlines will have labels on them, so you know. So even if you don't know much about running pneumatics or anything, you shouldn't be afraid to use them, because as long as you can turn on an air compressor, it's pretty self-explanatory.
And the first box is a reveal. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I really don't even remember which ones I ordered, to be honest with you. So if they sent me the wrong ones, I wouldn't even know. There's been so many other things on my mind that I really don't even remember. That nun looks cool.
You want me to tell you the names of everything?
Oh, you know the
I'm
names?
an expert, all right?
Oh, you're an expert. Okay.
So this right here, her name is Mourner Turn and Lunge. So she's like the one up in the new Escape. She turns around, stands up. And
Yeah, she's scary.
This is a nun lunger. It's on a scissor mechanism. It probably flies out about 5 or 6 feet. This is a face ripper. This is another one you have up there in the escape room. She rips her face off. Screams. This is the Abomination. You have one of these too. You have a lot of these already. So she like sits up in the corner of the ceiling and then comes down and goes crazy.
Yeah, no, but you can retheme these.
Yeah.
And that's a scary animation right there.
And then this shower curtain, I don't know anything about this.
Well, let's get this open and get these things out.
All right, let me get this out.
Now,
I don't know what this shower curtain's for.
I don't know either.
It's just a shower curtain.
Okay, well, let's take it out. Now, while Nick does that, I am going to talk about animatronics. Nick, by the way, while you're doing that, let me have the razor knife and I'll start cutting over there some of the plastic off so we can speed this up. So I want to talk to you, and that's the theme of this video, is, you know, I hear all kinds of craziness, you know, mostly from vendors that I've talked to that tell me, and I think I even heard this from Rich from Transworld. Okay, love Rich to death, but he doesn't know. And I think he said something to me like, you know, about why haunts are buying so many animatronics. Now, another rumor, but I'm going to address that in 1 second. But another rumor that I heard is that this year's Transworld show, there's going to be like 4 new animatronic companies. So this is good news, by the way. I know not everyone will like to hear this news. Probably not Poison Props, Scare Factory, or anybody else that sells animations probably don't want to hear that. But I actually think it's a great thing because you need some new ideas in the animation world. Not to say that Poison Props or Distortions or any of these people aren't doing good things, because they are. But when it comes to animations, I am a firm believer you can't have enough of them. So, and some of the companies that sell animations have been struggling to take orders for them because it takes, you know, X amount of time to make them. So, it's not necessarily a bad thing that there's going to be more companies making them. And the only thing that I would say, and I want to be fair, that a lot of companies in the past have had a hard time delivering. So you know, you take your chances when you order from somebody that you don't know, that might not have a lot of experience at manufacturing or taking too many orders and they can't fill them. I'm not saying that's going to happen in this case, but you know, you never know. So, but I'm excited to see new animation companies at Transworld. Now, when I was talking to, I think it was Rich from Transworld, and he said something about a reason why all the haunted houses were buying animations. And I told him, no, that's not the reason that haunts are buying animations. They're not. I think he, or it was somebody else who said to me, trying to replace actors. That's what was said to me. And I said, no, that is not true. The problem with haunted houses right now is you can't hire enough actors. So because you can't hire enough actors, we have resorted to trying to load up the haunted houses with animatronics. I can tell you, speaking for myself, at the Darkness, you know, I used to freak out when we had less than like 70 or 75, and some days we had 80 to 90, okay? Now, you know, we're pretty happy if we have 40. Would we take 50? Yes. Sometimes we get 50? Yes. Sometimes we get a little less than 40. So one of the ways that we went about, you know, I had the, I'm kind of a person that's always trying to look around the corner, okay? So when COVID hit, I figured it was going to be a big problem getting actors. I mean, it was just a guess, an assumption that probably a lot of people had the same guess or assumption. So one of the things that I went straight to was adding more what I call scare boxes. It's something we've been doing for, you know, since the beginning of doing haunts. And we do these scare boxes, and when I design haunts for theme parks, I literally can do everything from a bird's eye view because they usually have an open space. So I can design the maze to go by these areas multiple times, okay? But when you have a haunted house in an old warehouse and you have beams and you have ramps and you have all this stuff, you know, it's harder. So we had them, not as good as the ones that I designed into the haunts for theme parks that we build, but we went to great lengths to add, like, okay, so this scare box here is a solo, but if we cut a hole in the wall, we can let this actor get to a whole nother side of the haunt. Now, we had those all through the haunted house, but we decided to go ahead and make every possible change we could to where an actor could double up, triple up. And so we spent a lot of time and energy on that in 2020. So when Transworld didn't happen, between then and opening, which we didn't know if we were going to be able to open or not, we made it so that the haunt could run with a lot less actors. Now, one of the other things that we did was we probably added to the darkness alone 15 air cannons. Now, when the haunted house is with TerraVisions, 30,000-ish square feet, 15 air cannons is like, you can spread them out pretty far. So I can tell you the scariest animation you can buy is an air cannon, and it's also the cheapest animation you can buy. So we added a lot of air cannons. And then, a really good company that I like buying from up in Chicago, Hallucination Creations, he makes a lot of different variations of air cannons. So we were able to buy different ones that do different things. And we also added some air can't, like where they shoot fog at you. And so we really loaded up the haunted house with this stuff. With that being said, we also added a lot more animatronics. Like we needed any more, but we added more. So the go-to company on that really was Poison Props, which is now owned by Fright Props. And we also bought some animations from Distortions. We bought some from Scare Factory for the first time in over 10 years. We bought several from Unit 70. And so we just added a lot more animations. We cut a lot more scare boxes in. And when I say we cut scare boxes in, I'm trying to make you understand that we already had them. We even had one scare box where it could reach 4 different sections of the maze. But from a theming standpoint, we could not open one up to the other side without re-theming the other side, and we did that. So we are now able to run the darkness the most efficiently it's ever run. So it can now run with about 40 actors, and that is saying something. And here's the thing. It's scarier than ever, in my opinion. You have air cannons going off. And we're going to make another video to figure out exactly how many animations we have inside the haunt. But I mean, I don't know if we have the Guinness Book of World Records. I don't know, but we're going to find out because we're going to do a video and document each and every single one. So I don't know how many we have, but it's well north of 100. And we have 5 air compressors, and I just talked to the air compressor company yesterday about replacing 2 of our screw drives, our belt-driven ones, with screw drives, and to get 2 more screw drives in this place. Air is a problem, and when you have this many animations, you have to add air tanks like all over the place, which we've done. We did that last year. We probably put in about 30 air tanks like all through the place. So, at any rate, this is how we handled COVID. We did run with about 35 to 40 actors, and that's kind of like the number the darkness has been operating with since COVID. Somewhere between 38 and 55 actors. We have about 5 or 6 outside, and with the scare boxes that we have in the darkness, 35 to 40 actors inside really seems like, twice as many. And then when you have all these animations jumping out, popping out, they're popping out of the ceiling, out of the walls, under your feet. I mean, it's everywhere. It really does make a difference. And so am I an advocate for animatronics? Well, yes, I am. The downside to the animatronics is, you know, they don't always work. They break. They need constant maintenance. But one really good, you know, tech can, for the most part, keep them up and running. It is an ongoing battle. But with that being said, The Darkness has, let's say, 50 actors with, between CGI and animations, you know, it could be another 150 or more. I don't know. We're gonna find out when we do we're gonna do a video to document that. But it could have 100 to 150 more animations or slash monsters popping out, and quite frankly, doing things that the actors can't do. Now, when it comes to animatronics, this is my feel on it, okay? There's different kinds of animatronics. There's animatronics that no one will ever see. Those are air cannons. You could even throw in a sound effect, you know, like at Universal Studios Horror Nights, they're always pressing these pressure pads and sound effects occur. Light explosion in your face. A CO2 cannon. These are animations that are just designed to get a reaction or a quick reaction. You never interact with them, you never see them, they just kind of suddenly happen, okay? So, for the most part, those are the cheapest ones, and in a lot of ways, most effective. I mean, you could even take a circular saw and put it on a motion sensor and it goes off and it makes noise. Anything along those lines, that would be one form of animatronics. Okay, we have tons of those. Another form of animation would be the middle tier ones that literally jump out in your face and scream and holler and move around. And you know, it's very important where you put the motion sensor. I can tell you the best, you can have the best techs come through your haunt and they always put it in the wrong place. You know, that's where the owner needs to come in and put it where it needs to go. Okay? If you set it off too soon, it's worthless. If you set it off too late, it's worthless. You know, you really got to try to hit like the first 3 people, and it could, because it could also startle the people that are behind them as well, because it suddenly comes out. So that's a trial and error thing right there. Okay, but those animations are typically $2,500 to $4,000. They don't always look the best. Sometimes they're not made the best, because, you know, they're meant to be affordable, and they get the job done. You know, you got to keep on top of them, and they do. They get the job done. They get scares and whatnot. Okay, and then you have animations like from a company like Unit 70. You need what? Okay.
Because they're all screwed down to the pallet.
And then you have animations like from companies like Unit 70. Okay. And then Scare Factory has a lot of big ones. Distortions has a few big ones, and trying to think if anybody else has any big ones. But you got the animation, like the most popular one in the history of the haunted house industry. Well, I mean, it's probably the electric chair from Distortions. But I mean, that doesn't scare anybody, right? It was more of like a looker. If it suddenly goes off in the dark, it probably could scare you. But it was more of a showpiece animation, like where you sit there and you watch it, okay? So that is another form of animation, but when probably the most in the digital age was Unit 70's, like, you know, Pennywise type of giant clown animation. This animation got hundreds of millions of views. Okay, so it just went super viral. And this animation does not scare anyone. But as you could see, it went ultra viral. Now I can tell you, for those people who don't know, go to TikTok and follow me on TikTok. You will learn a thing or two about getting views on TikTok or even Instagram. So on TikTok, I have 615, as the date of this recording, 615,000 followers. And you know what I found? And in almost every case, the videos that get the most views, I see all these goofy haunts, and I have to tell you, they're just straight up goofy. That you got your actors like doing silly stuff and just doing dumb stuff, and it's obviously that you rehearsed this and filmed it, and nobody cares. Okay, I hate to tell you, nobody cares about that. You're not going to get anywhere on TikTok with that. I have one video on TikTok that got 50 million views, and somebody copied my video and got 50 million views on top of it. And it was really nothing but just dropping a coffin down some steps. It was turning the camera on, turning the camera off. I have another video that got 30 million views or so, and it was just me on my hayride where Pennywise the clown jumps on and tries to scare people and stuff like that. And that video got 30 million views. I have probably 30 videos that did over 5 million. I have probably 40 videos or more that got over 1 million. In fact, the other day, I have a video on TikTok right now over 1 million views, and it went from 10,000 one day, and I'm like, oh, well, it's doing better than recent videos. It went from 10,000 to 1 million in 24 hours. It was just me dragging a dead body, and I turn around and I shoot I can't even remember the name of that animation from Scare Factory. Is it called The Necromancer or something like that? And that video's at 1 million views. Last year at Transworld, I took a video of Poison Prop's Doug House. That video got like 7-8 million views, okay? People on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or whatever, the videos of the animatronics get more views than the actors. Okay, I'm just here to tell you. Because, and this is my theory, that when you look at Home Depot and you look at Menards and all these people, and everybody just gets excited about the animations, there's such a big market for it, and there's so many Facebook groups dedicated to it, that these animations, especially when they're in a position where the customers can film them themselves and tag you, this actually helps your social media. So on my Instagram page for Scarefest, we have 32,000 followers, and that's a lot for Instagram, and it was really hard to get the 32, and I hope after next Halloween I'm at 42, okay? But we promote our Instagram everywhere. Okay, but the key is putting content up that people actually want to see. You can actually try to fake and fake content, which we've done that a few times, like me getting attacked by the chair and I sit in it. That did really good. But most of the time, it's just content from your haunted house or an animation. I literally can film all these Unit 70 animations or Scare Factory animations or whoever. They all do fantastic, and they get views. So you can utilize these animations to your advantage on your social media just by filming them and throwing a quick video up. And you know, if you have a cool haunted house, you can kind of sort of just turn the camera on, pan across something spooky, and then the animation goes off. And then when it's done going off, you just hit stop, upload. I mean, it's just that simple. Okay, there is no magical formula. That's it. Okay, so hopefully I've explained a lot of things about animations. There is one other kind of animation, and that is the talking animation, where the animation tells a story, maybe a cue line animation, where it kind of does something to set a stage, and we're using those a lot in our escape rooms and our haunted houses. With all that being said, the darkness has a lot of animation, so if you come to our haunt tour, you'll get to see how we're utilizing them. And I think the most important thing with an animation is theming. You have to theme the animation into the environment so that it looks like it belongs there. The second most important thing with animatronics is that not only when you theme them in correctly, you got to make sure they're not going to hit anybody. Now I'm going to tell you a funny story. I was trying to sell my zombie haunt to a major theme park, and they came to see it. And he says, "Oh, this thing's dangerous. You know, all these animations are jumping at him, and like, we can't have this. This could hurt our customers." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Okay. I'm like, "Will you stand right in front of that animation? Is it hitting you?" And the guy's like, "No." And I go, "Well, look down." And he doesn't even notice because it was themed. There was crates or a barrel or a couch or a chair, whatever, okay? That was perfectly placed so that animation could get really close but not actually touch you. And because he didn't notice that these things were themed into the scene, he did not notice that they weren't actually able to hit you. So safety with animations is very important. Some animations you should really think about, like putting safety chains on them, like so like if they were to break, they can't fall all the way over or fall out of the ceiling or whatever. So safety is a big thing with animatronics. I heard about a haunt, I'm not going to say who, but it was in Kansas City, and I got a call from an attorney that wanted to hire me as an expert, and they tell me that a fireman lost his hearing from walking through a fireplace because the haunt owner put an air cannon in the fireplace and blasted him in the eardrum. Now, that is just dumb, beyond belief dumb, to put an air cannon and blast it into somebody's face. You know, something could get in that air cannon and shoot something in somebody's eye, or in this case, blow their eardrum out. That's just so dumb and irresponsible as well. I would never put an air cannon into, you know, to where somebody could, like, where you're forcing somebody to literally get blasted in the face. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. This is just what was alleged, okay? And they tried to hire me as an expert witness. Now, I said no. I'm not interested in being an expert witness against any haunted house for any reason. So I turned that down. I've actually been asked 3 different times to testify against this same exact haunt for other injuries. I said no each time. I was asked a couple other times by lawyers if I could, you know, I mean, I don't even know how many times. It's probably been 10 or 15, you know, over the years. And of course I say no every single time. But with that being said, safety is very important when it comes to animatronics. Theming them in correctly is very important when it comes to, you know, and putting, you know, to disguise the animation. So these are all of the suggestions I would make to you when it comes to animations. And the Darkness Haunt Tour, every year we add some. I think that's one of the things that all haunts should do. You should make that, hey, you're gonna get new masks, you're gonna get new props, but like, hey, we're gonna add 5 more animations, we're gonna add 6 more, we're gonna add 10 more because we're gonna make 5 of them air cannons. Whatever it is, it adds to the scare factor. But I think the biggest thing, especially like if every year you could splurge and get one major animation. Yes, I know they don't scare anybody, but look at the views for the darkness on any famous YouTuber that has covered the darkness. We get the most views, and I believe it's because we have so many cool animations that move and move around, and they do things that you don't normally see. So I do think it adds a lot to your haunted house. If you're making promo videos to promote your haunted house, or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok content, they come in really handy there as well. So there is my animation tips for the haunted house industry. And when you go to Transworld this year, you're going to see that there's quite a few there. I will tell you that we've pretty much bought animations from every company that's ever sold them. I'm not going to go into a list of who's the best and who's the worst, but I can tell you that Unit 70s get me the most views. Okay, those big ones. And the motions are, you know, they move side to side and they do this and that, but they look so cool. The kicking, screaming kid has really worked out really well on top of it. What's this?
That's for if you don't know what you're doing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Poison Props provides this book that says, read this first. It's a starter guide. And it kind of just walks through hooking it up. I think this is great that Poison Props provides this. You know, another thing that Poison Props makes you do when you buy their animations, before they ship them to you, they make you sign a waiver. Because they don't know how you're going to use these animations. You know, one of the things, like you talk about these scissor animations, if somebody was like trying to repair it and they put their finger in there and they could slice them right off. Whenever you're repairing animations, especially if you're trying to like put new bolts in or whatever, you should unhook it from air. I'm telling you that right now. So there you go, all my animation tips. Oh, I'll tell you one more, and this isn't a cheap shot. I won't say what company it is, but a company that we've had problems with in the past where their welds break. So we get the animation in, we don't even know, we don't even care. We go ahead and add more steel, more welds, and just firm it up and make it stronger and sturdier. And when we do that, we don't have problems with them. Just saying, okay? So I will say, for the haunted house industry, the animations are fairly cheap, and they're gonna come sometimes with some problems. You just work through them, okay? And in some cases, if you get really skilled at them, you'll know, and you'll be able to spot, you know, on the animation where you might need to add just a little bit more support. One of the things I think animation companies should do is they should weld inside the inside corners like a tab with a hole so you could bolt it down to the floor. I do think that those tabs should be added by all the animation companies, just saying. And so, hey, get your tickets to the Darkness Haunt Tour. You get them at darkness.fearticket.com. Darkness.fearticket.com. These events will sell out. We do them to inspire the haunted house industry, and we're really hoping that you come to the tour. Now, if you're watching this video literally after the tour, then you just skip past this part. But what we're gonna do now, before my battery dies, because this is another video with no editing whatsoever, we're gonna look at the animations that we got. Now, I will say that this one right here got me a ton of views on...
This one up first.
All right, let's see it.
I think it's the coolest one you got. Well, I still gotta plug it in.
All right, well, plug it in. Let's go.
I got hooked up in record time, so you know.
We got 1 bar of battery life, and then we're gonna have to turn it off. This animation last year at Transworld, I filmed this. It took all of 20 seconds to videotape it, and it got like 7 or 8 million views on my TikTok, and it got a ton of views on my Instagram. And here we go. Now, he doesn't have the speaker hooked up, right? No speaker?
It does. It has a speaker on it, but I'm plugging it in.
Okay, he's got to turn on the speaker. Let's take another look. Doug is the owner of Poison Props now, and that's why it's called Doug House. All right, let's go. There we go again. I think this animation is cool, and I think it'll get scares with sound. Apparently, do you know what's going on with the sound?
So this one comes with a sub. Sometimes the Poison Prop stuff comes with a speaker that sounded like a jet. This one comes with an external speaker. This is what you get. This is what you're going to be hooking up. This is what it runs in. So that's a controller. That's a manifold with solenoids on it. That's what's controlling the air for all the cylinders to make them move. And then that's a relay for plugging in lights and stuff like that.
And then this is what it looks like from behind.
Can we run them?
Well, I want it with sound.
You get sound.
And you see that's a scissor mechanism. You got to make sure that nobody can get their fingers in that thing, which it would be really hard to do. They'd have to climb into the doghouse to do it. We got sound here or what? While he's figuring that out, let's take a look at some of these other animations. A nun. Now this one is really cool here because what it does, it has its face up against the wall and it twists and then starts screaming at you. It is actually really good. And these masks and stuff, and I don't know if Fright Props made these themselves. Sometimes they order them from Midnight Studios. Sometimes they order them from Ghost Ride. And this one looks like what it does. I guess this one goes with the shower, is my guess. And it comes down, you know, and starts screaming bloody murder. One of the things that Poison Props is really good at, in my opinion, is the sound. The sound is scary, the sound is sudden, it's quick, it happens fast, and it gets scares. All right, here we go. Now, if you really want these things to pop, you can see the speaker it comes with. You can use a more powerful speaker, and we use them here all the time. Oh, he's like barking. Well, there we have it. There's that one. Very good animation, especially for your social media.
Hooked up in record time.
Okay, what other one can we hook up?
Any of them. Which one do you want? I think the shower curtain goes to her.
Yeah, I think so.
It's open and she goes crazy. I think we should hook up this one because I think that one's pretty cool. It comes up off the bed. And...
Well, let's see it because we only got time for one more.
All right.
All right.
Can your battery handle it?
If you hurry.
Your file's not gonna.
How long will it take?
10 minutes.
Oh, we don't have 10 minutes.
All right, let's do one of these then. Let's do the width.
Yeah, that one's great.
The Mourner. Yeah.
Yeah, how long will that one take to hook up?
5 minutes.
Oh, it's got to be faster than that because we got to end this video.
Record time.
Record time. Set it up right next to Doug House. Now I think that's really clever. They called it Doug House. They marked out the U, so it's the Dog House. And you know, that means that, you know, Doug, the owner of the company, has a sense of humor. So that's not a bad thing, okay? Now, we also know of another company. A good friend of yours, Greg Allen, is starting a company. And what's the name of that company?
Killer Props.
Killer Props. They already have a website. You can go online and look up Killer Props. That's going to be a new company that's going to have animatronics. And all of the animations that I like to buy, to be honest with you, I don't like these scissor ones. And a lot of times what we do, we'll take whole sections out of the scissor because we don't want it to go more than, like, say 2 feet, 3 feet, because we don't have room. Yeah. And a totally built out haunted house. Yeah, and so we have to, like, limit them how far they can go, because in a built out haunted house, you don't have a lot of space where you can have something jump out. So if I was giving a tip to the animation companies, don't make these in big demand. You want stuff that just kind of sort of does like what this one does right here, where it flings around and starts thrashing around, because that is an animation most haunts could use. The other problem that a lot of haunts have, and I don't know that the animation people have, the companies that make animations have ever figured this out. These are built out haunted houses, okay? So let me explain this to you. It's hard to get them into the haunt. And let me just show you as an example. And by the way, do you know why this is hooked like this? So if these exhaust valves leak water, they don't leak water on the controller. So it's put up this way so they can leak water away from the electronics. Okay, so if I was to get animations in here from this door, look at this. Okay, you know, I got to get it around a lot of stuff. So it's not easy. So if you're going to make a big animatronic, and I mean a big one, then you need to make it to where it can break down into 2 parts, maybe 3 parts, so that you can physically get it in. Now look at this animation over here. This is another animation from Fright Props. or I mean from, you know, Poison Props, you'll see that it's built up on a crate. And so it's over the top of people and it does its thing, okay? So instead, and see, so it comes down at you. So instead of just going ahead and putting it on the ground, let's put it over the top of people so it kind of attacks you from above. And we also have animations in here where you walk past them, and if you didn't notice, you wouldn't see them, like this one right here. So it kind of like jumps out from behind at you, and you can't see that one really good. And then here's another example of a big animation. That's from Scare Factory. Scare Factory and Unit 70 and Distortions to a degree have pretty much the market on the big animations. And I would say that Poison Props has the market on the animations that cost $2,500 to $4,500. Is this one almost ready to go?
Yeah.
So explain what you're doing here.
So right now we're hooking up. This right here is the most important part to your animatronic, because without this, those things won't move. They're just metal and latex and fabric. This is all the brains, basically.
But how do you know where those tubes are go?
Well, usually, if you were making them yourself, you wouldn't know. You'd have to know these well. But these are all labeled. All the solenoids are numbered, and there's either black or white tape on your airline, and there's a number on it. And see how these are color coded? That's how you know which fitting to put the airline into. So you match up the color to the number of the solenoid on that solenoid. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can you handle that?
No, I'm too stupid. And I really truly mean that.
But I'm telling you, I can hook these things up. Usually you want to take your time to make sure you don't mess up, but I've done it so many times that I could probably do this blindfold. I could do it without numbers. Or am I just flexing now? Alright, so
You're definitely flexing.
Alright, so look.
We got her ready to go.
Look, this comes with your controller. That'll go straight into your air compressor. Comes with this fitting, it comes off, that's the airline that goes into it. So you'll take this first before you plug it in. Plug this into your regulator right here. Then you're gonna take this, watch out because she might swing around. Come off the air. Plug air into her. Now she's not mounted to the ground, so you gotta be careful. Because with these things, you want to put a sturdy base on them or bolt them into the ground because, you know, they're vinyl.
Yeah, she might flip over.
And with her, she doesn't have a speaker. A lot of their props have the speakers mounted into the prop, which is good because then the sound kind of moves with the prop. So, just going to flip around. Just going to turn around and look at you.
All right, you gonna trigger?
Give her a second. You can't rush her like that.
Oh, she's crying.
And she cries. And then whenever you're not ready.
Oh! Oh my goodness! I told you she was gonna fall over. Look. That animation, I have to say, is wild. Okay? That's a great animation because you put it on the wall and then it just literally assaults you. And that is great.
Go move her little motion sensor now.
Whoa! I think almost hit me. I think Nick tried to get me attacked. Okay, that is a great animation. And that animation is going in the darkness faux show. Okay? I want to thank Nick over there. We got to see 2 of the animations. These animations are gonna go in the darkness. We're excited about them. Going off again. We're gonna have animations for sale. If you wanna reach out, we can give you a list. But make sure you get tickets to our haunt tour, which is darkness.fearticket.com. And if you happen to be in St. Louis, we open, obviously, for the Halloween season. You can learn more about the Darkness at thedarkness.com or scarefest.com. Or make sure you follow us on Instagram, which is @scarefest. But we open for Krampus in December, and Valentine's, and you can get those tickets at scarefest.fearticket.com. So we really do look forward to seeing you at Transworld. We hope this video has been informative to help you try to on your journey to Transworld and figuring out what you want to get or what you don't want to get. So we had a big mess to clean up here, and until next time, happy haunting, and we'll see you at Transworld. And look at this big giant mess.
You know what you have to do though that all the haunted house vloggers do that I've never seen you do?
Wow.
You turn the camera at yourself and you go, and then you turn it off and it's in your mouth, like you're eating the audience. That's what all the haunted house vloggers do.
Okay, you won't catch me doing that. That's weird.
Hey,
and if I see any haunted house vlogger do that, I will delete their channel from my feed.
One more thing about these props.
Yeah, hurry
You
up.
saw how that thing took a tumble, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't get damaged. These things are built pretty well because it fell right on this arm, and all of the parts are still intact, not bent or anything.
Well, that's about all she wrote on this video, and we look forward to seeing you.
And Larry's taking her home tonight.
Yeah, I am. And you can see all these animations either operating at Creepy World or Darkness. And until next time, folks.
Do the thing.